Okay. Horses don't stop. They just keep going is what's been motivating me recently to kind of... Jesus Christ, I almost... Not even rear end, I almost... What would that actually be? Instead of rear ending somebody, you back into somebody at an alarming speed and you run into them. It's kind of ironic as well that the initial quote for today is horses don't stop, they keep going. Yet I almost had my horsepower in this car go in an exuberant amount and then run into the car behind me. But ignoring that though, I recently watched the Musume Pretty Derby beginning of a new era movie last night actually, because today is indeed Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. And this is, I like to call it, they have like A, D, and B, C, right? So let's do I'll do PU, post Uma. Or maybe I should even add more to it. Post Uma Musume Pretty Derby. So that'd be PU PD. I swear I'm not actually this stupid, but actually I legitimately think to some extent I have been getting kind of stupider recently, which is kind of unfortunate to think about. I've also found out that the highway that's literally right in front of my gym, the interstate, or the highway in front of it. See, I can't even fucking speak right now. Might be getting closed for 2 weeks, which is going to put a hamper on my commute to the gym. So, you know what that means? I'm not going to work out for 2 weeks, actually. It's a perfect excuse from God himself saying, stop working out. Chud max in your home, actually. Sit inside, play video games, or not even, actually. Don't even play video games. Just do nothing. But again, today's topic at hand is, I actually journaled already today. I woke up with some strong emotional feelings after a little bit of a unsettling dream that I had, and that's been a common occurrence that I've been having recently. I've been having some very realistic dreams. Part of it are funny, some part of it are kind of not funny. Sometimes there's some things about some current, not global, my current personal issues that I be facing that show up in the dream, and I go, huh, this is a little bit too topical at the time right now. These are things and demons that I probably didn't really want to face at the moment, but I might have to face them right now. But you know what I felt actually quite motivated by? This is the funniest thing ever too, is... Whoa! Okay. But again, after watching the Pretty Derby beginning of a new era movie, I'm not even going to use the word strangely, because I was going to say I'm strangely motivated, but no, I am genuinely a lot more motivated than I was before after watching what some people could say just a silly little anime movie about horse girls who just run fast, where that's quite literally the premise of the entire movie, right? It's about a couple of characters. They like running, so they sign up for running and they race each other. And they talk about their own personal goals and wants of why they are running. On the surface level, it is what it is, right? But hearing again each character's motivation for running, and in the way too, it kind of just goes beyond running, right? Is this also a very over-the-top analysis about, again, silly horse girl anime movie? Yes. But again, it's the idea that every single one of them had a goal, but it's also the idea that they were all motivated by something different, but they were all striving towards the same goal, which in the end is just to be happy with themselves. And oh, there's a lot of rain. Oh boy. Because remember, one of the most resonating things that happened in the movie for me personally is somebody saying that it doesn't matter. Because, again, one of the plot points in the movie is, I guess it's in the spoiler territory, is that the main character creates a rival. They go up to the person that keeps beating them saying, hey, I want you to be my rival so that I always have something that I can strive towards, something that it's always going to be an everlasting dream and goal where I am always going to be trying to best you. And once that rival pulls out of the race, the person's like, well, what's the point of it all now? I was literally working so hard. I put all my effort, all my eggs into a basket in the idea that I would have a lifelong partner and strive towards always being better than them. And if that person disappears, what is my purpose now? It's kind of the idea of, like, you know, if you put too much time and effort into something that's, again, kind of pertains off the idea of you put your happiness based off somebody else, where does that leave you when that person decides to just say, hey, I'm not doing this anymore? And I know this kind of sounds like an analogy for talking about relationships, which I didn't even realize until now. Because the more I said it out loud, I was like, oh, that kind of sounds like something I'll be going through. But I digress. And it ultimately shows also this person having a spiraling moment. They have, legitimately a breakdown. They're like, what do I strive for now? And they also thought about it this way too, like, even if I strive towards a future without this person, I still feel a little bit empty. I still feel like people are going to say, especially in the racing context too, that, all my victories and achievements are not even, in a way, worth it anymore, because it was all for the idea of besting this person. And again, if that person's not there, then what do I have for it, right? I might have some accomplishment accolades toward my name now because I still worked hard, but like, what's the point of it all? It's that weird existential moment where just like, was it all for nothing? Oh, we gotta step on it. The car behind me is quite the reckless driver. I'm already up to the speed limit and this guy's already passing me, so fuck you, piece of shit driver. And he's not even passing me anymore now, so what was the point of that? He sped up once he saw me get into the lane, and then it's still driving like a jackass right now. I fucking hate drivers, man. I did everything right in my own end, and this is the thing. This is the driving that I have to encounter. This fucking dumbass in the fucking Hyundai Elantra GT. Also, after I've been reviewing my videos recently, one thing that I've always been insecure about is quite literally right here. As you can see, sometimes you'll see that it converts into a double chin occasionally. And there are times where I look at my own photos, look at my own video recordings, and I see my double chin and I go, I don't like that. I don't like how that looks. I'm not in love with my body. And this has been something that has been plaguing me for years, because whoop-de-doo, we're going to bring up family trauma now. My mom has always been quite the stickler about my appearances, and it's still going on to this day. And you can also say grown-ass man taking offense from things that his mom said. But it's not just my mom, too. It's like, it might just be like a cultural Korean, maybe just Asian thing in general, where sometimes as older Korean people just straight up just call you ugly. They straight up just call you fat. And it's not a fun thing to hear, especially when you consider somebody as close to somebody as like your mom, who just wakes up one day, looks you in the eye and says, wow, have you gone fat? And you're just like, wow, I thought I didn't, but when you put it like that, maybe I am. And I feel like there is going to be a difference of, there's people that give you constructive criticism with the idea that you better yourself, but is it really constructive criticism when your mom, out of all the people, just looks at you and say, fat, double chin, you'd be so much more pretty, or you'd be so much more handsome if you lost weight, or you'd be so much more handsome if you got LASIK surgery? Well, that's another thing too. It's like, whenever I wear glasses, it's not like this is necessarily a fashion choice. I can't fucking see. I have bad eyesight. And I always hear from my mother saying, oh, have you ever thought about getting LASIK surgery because you look so much better without glasses? And the thing too is like, could I consider that somewhat constructive and be like, oh, okay, I guess they're just being somewhat objective in a way, saying I just look better. So I guess it's not even objective at that point. It might still subjective, right? Subjectively telling me that I would look better without glasses. But again, I sometimes wear contacts, but I don't always wear contacts, because obviously speaking, first of all, you can't sleep with contacts in. On top of that, you also, they get kind of uncomfortable after wearing them for like, a long time. So people might be going, why don't you just get LASIK? Have you seen the procedure that they do for LASIK surgery? It looks pretty damn scary. And honestly, any procedure, God, strength to the people that willingly get procedures done for them that aren't even like, they need them, that are like, necessary for them to better their lives. Like cosmetic surgeries and stuff like that. Anytime you do a procedure on your body, there is going to be quite a bit of strain, pain, and quite a bit of effort of trying to recover from that, because you literally did something that your body wasn't born with, and now you forcibly made it happen. Which, again, the idea that the science is there to do that is pretty impressive. But I got my wisdom teeth pulled in, and I was suffering for a month, and I'm not even joking. Maybe I'm just weak, maybe I'm just too beta, I'm not a sigma alpha male, but man, even getting my wisdom teeth pulled out, that was a rough recovery, man. That was not it wasn't definitely something I look back and I go, wow, that was really fun. I wish I could do that again. Horses don't stop, they keep going. Horses don't stop, they keep going. And I was talking about that movie and I got sidetracked, but it's the idea that you lose that outlook in life. You lose that goal that you were just so trying, just effortlessly putting all your, time and effort into. And when that all falls through, you think about yourself and go, so what now? And it's kind of ironic that you do that because, again, as humans, we all have the capabilities to think that, we are individuals. I am my own person. I am not somebody else. I am my own person, and I have the power and tools to shape my own destiny. So why is it so hard to try for myself at times? And I know that might not be the case for everybody in the world, right? Some people might be too motivated by themselves, and you'll hear terms like narcissism, self-centered, and stuff like that, which I guess there's a balance to everything, right? Because who knows? What if me getting too hard-headed in the idea that I am my own person, that I gotta strive for things on my own, makes me end up being the person that I just described? I don't know. But I think I've been on a bit of a weird, unbalanced mindset where I put a lot of my happiness onto others. Or I base my happiness on others, if that makes sense. Like, instead of saying like, I am happy doing the thing that I do because it makes me feel good, it's the idea that I would do things in the hopes that it makes other people feel good. And that does wear you pretty thin, especially if you don't have a good balance with it. And I feel like I was in that boat to some extent, and I let it kind of creep up on me, and I also let it turn into some frustration on my own end when I realized all this time and effort I was putting into others was not being reciprocated. And I kept thinking, I got into that thing again where I kept thinking, why did I even do that in the first place, dude? There are some demons on the road right now. We're on a 2-lane highway at the moment, and both fuckers in front of me are going the same exact speed limit, right? Or speed right now. So I'm on, again, the left lane is for passing, the right lane is for driving normally, and if the fucker in the left lane is not gonna fucking yield and is actually going slower than the person on the right lane, we have a little bit of an issue right now. Also, the driver in front of me is slamming on his brakes when there's literally nothing in front of him. I just visually confirmed there's fucking we're going under the fucking speed limit! My apologies for raising my voice right there, but again, if you're feeling a little bit down on yourself, specifically if you're thinking of the idea that, like, you're you're in the kind of mindset of like, what's the point of it all? What's the point of living? And what am I saying the musume movie is gonna, reinvigorate everything that's been lost in your life? No. But I did almost tear up and get emotional at the end of towards the end of the movie, because they've legitimately had some very good messages in terms of like finding a purpose for yourself and in a way loving yourself, right? Because, again, on the surface, are we looking at anime horse girls running fast and that's their entire purpose? Yes. But can I also accept that the things that they said, such as, my main goal in life is that I'm always going to be running forward. Again, it's a little tongue-in-cheek because what is it about? It's about anime horse girls running, right? But they said they're going to be running forward because they said the moment they stop moving, it makes it that much harder to catch up with the self that I promise myself to be. And I think, again, that's really poetic, and they gave a very visual representation of that, where it showed, again, you know how in racing games you can see like a ghost version of yourself running up ahead of you? It literally showed saying like, this is the peak performance version of me, and I'm always going to be striving towards that. But they also accepted the idea that, I might not reach that. It might not be physically possible to catch up to that perfect being, because are we perfect as people? No, we are not perfect beings. And if we were, I wouldn't be making shit like this, right? I could just look in the mirror and then go, ooh, no double chin, Chad jawline, voluptuous chest pump, striated quads, visible abs, 23-inch arms. I could say that and be completely content with my life now, but am I perfect? Hell no! But it's the idea that I'm always going to be a person that I can look at, and I thought, I tried today. And did I want to go to the gym today? Hell no! The weather sucks, I'm tired, I have a mild headache right now, I'm sad, I'm over-encumbered, video game joke, and I'm fat. But I thought, if those fucking silly ass Uma Musumes can do it, then I can do it as well. I just looked in the video, or I guess I'm recording this video and I can look at myself, right? And I saw the double chin again. I was like, damn. I've been finding solace and happiness in what people can consider a little bit silly things, but you guys know what Chikawa is, right? Is Chikawa as motivating as it should be? I see what is it. You know, I think that's enough speaking for today. Let's go hit a fucking upper body day today now. are now post-workout drive back home, and unfortunately it says it's going to take me 40 minutes to get back home, which is insane because normally, typically, my drive to the gym takes anywhere around 18 to 22 minutes, and it says my drive back home right now is 37 minutes, which is a bit upsetting if I'm being honest. As you can see, we do not have the once mentioned, the Chud Jug that I mentioned before that I've been drinking for the past month and a half. Maybe it's only been a month actually, so I cleared through that thing pretty fast. But I am in a bit of a weird spot right now because I am exhausted. Like, I am genuinely, like, towards the end of my workout, and especially when I was back on the treadmill for 30 minutes, I was kind of losing it. I was so tired. I was so, like, dazed and, like, just out of it. And I was kind of thinking, like, is that typical? Is that bad? I don't know, but it makes me also think, did I have, like, really good working sets to the point I almost overexerted myself? I don't know. But what ended up happening today is, I'll give you the rundown. As you might have noticed, I didn't record all my sets because some of them, they kind of weren't even sets at that point. And I think the only thing I didn't record was, I did another set of bicep curl, but instead of like the forearm variation with the overhand, I did the underhand close grip, and I pumped out one set of that as well just because it felt nice, no other reasoning. And then I also did 2 sets of tricep extension, but these are the ones that I did. There's a machine at this gym just called tricep machine where it's like an overhead thing, and dude, those annihilate me. And what ended up happening today is I usually do, or not usually do, the last one I recorded I did for 55 pounds, 2 sets of 10 reps, and on the second set I did 8 reps. Today on the first set, on the first rep, I felt my triceps already giving out, and I was like, oh man, I wonder what the difference is. And then I think I noticed it's the fact that I did barbell bench press for the first time, and I think, how long has it been? Like several months, not just one, but several months it has been since I've last done a barbell bench press. And honestly, that was kind of moving, dude. I used to, the last recorded exercise, or last recorded amount of reps I did on barbell bench is I did it for 135, 45 plates on each side, and I did for 2 sets. The first set I did for 4 reps, and the second set I did for 3 reps. And today we were able to bust out not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 reps for 2 sets as well. And I guess you could argue that, you know, the final set that I did for barbell bench, I took a little bit of a break, and it was kind of like a grinder where I was like, and then it finally went up, right? But it moved, and I am stoked about that. But again, I did that. I also, I guess, quote unquote, should I even call it a PR at this point? But I did the assisted pull-ups, and those are the cleanest reps I think I've ever done in a long time. Because remember last time I did them, it says I did 8, but I also wrote 8-ish, because I remember the last time I did them, I think reps 6 through 8 were kind of like, you could almost consider them not full reps, but at the same time, it was at the point where it's like, you know, I basically was like 80% of the way there on the ROM, so you might as well give it to me at that point, because it's not like I did like 40% of the ROM, and then I said, oh, that's a rep right there. But today, I like to consider that every rep was at 100%, and those are the cleanest reps I think I've ever done on pull-up, and I am extremely proud of that. I am extremely proud. There might be the issue that it might be the wrong order that I did the exercise in, because I remember sometimes I do anything lat related, so any like pull down movement, either second or third in the movement, because I like doing chest first just because it's fun, and I also feel like I've always wanted to reserve my most amount of energy and freshness for doing a chest exercise, so that's just my reasoning behind it, right? And then I always do some sort of row or pull down variation afterwards. And I was actually going to do a set of pec deck today as well, but I was just so tuckered out after that set of bench, where it's kind of making me think, did I undereat? Did I not really rest that well? Because I also have this, I wouldn't say a gnarly headache, but I have a headache right now, to the point where I was also a bit uncomfortable throughout the workout, because there were just some sets where I really wanted to eke out another rep, but then my head was just hurting, and I was like, ugh, what if my head explodes doing this? But dude, I will tell you this right now, the thing that was going through my mind the most, especially on barbell bench, was the musume movie. anytime, especially on the 6th rep, I was already happy. I was like, oh my god, I hit 6 reps. Like, that's something I've been striving for a really long time. And then in my mind, I kept thinking, do I want to live in the shadow of myself and not strive for that little extra bit to even prove to myself that I am better today, that I am better than the version I am was yesterday? I just fucked up the thing I wanted to say there so bad, but am I better than the version I was last workout? And today, I like to admit that I am. But it is at the cost of, on the tricep exercise specifically, I did not improve at all. I think I got worse. And the reasoning behind that is, what ended up happening is I recorded 55 pounds, 2 sets. First set was 10 reps, second set was 8 reps. Today, I did the most excruciating 10 reps because I still really wanted it, right? On the first set. And then on the second set, I did 5. So if you think about it, last time I did 8, right? I did 5 today, 3 less. And again, too, nothing about it felt any easier. And if anything, I was struggling the most I think I've ever been in my entire life. What is it? Is this even making me go home right now? Home. Where is this taking me? Where the actual heck is this taking me? Okay, so... You know what? Fuck it at this point. I don't really... I remember last time I trusted the GPS, it made me go on a path that instead of the normal path taking 35 miles, it took me to a path that added 15 extra miles and saved 4 minutes. 15 extra miles to save 4 minutes. I do not think that was worth it. In my opinion, that was not worth it for the 4-minute little reduction of time right there. Today's shake is 1 scoop of unflavored protein powder combined with this scoop of strawberry cheesecake to combine together just something all right. It's not great. Honestly, the unflavored protein powder, I haven't had it in a while. It tastes disgusting. Because that's the thing I'll say. You know, I talked about the Chud Jug shake having a gross texture, but at least it tasted good. This does not taste good, and it also doesn't have... Oh, it has a better texture, at least. It doesn't taste like... It doesn't have that same texture as I mentioned before of a bodily fluid, but... The more I drink this, the more unpleasant it is getting. Maybe I should become one of those people. I don't eat food for the pleasure. I eat food to punish myself. I eat food just for the nutrition and sustenance of it. It's like, okay, damn, dude. I get it. Like, I get it, but at the same time, like, I like eating delicious food. I might even like to say I'm food motivated at times, even though I shouldn't be. I feel like I'm a little bit too food motivated at times, where I'm already thinking that, you know, eventually when I start, you know, going out, meeting people again, and eventually hopefully start dating as well, is the idea that will I be able to find somebody that matches my freak, but on food? Because I definitely do think matching somebody's food preference is a very important thing, because if you guys both hate, like, you know, different thing. Okay, how should I say? If you guys both hate the same things, that's probably going to be a good thing, right? But if you guys hate things that you each other like, that's going to be an issue. Because say if I like burgers and the girl I'm talking to hates burgers, we're going to have a little bit of an issue, because what are we going to go out to eat? But then what if I also suggest maybe she likes sushi and I hate sushi? What is our compromise going to be? And again, is that going to be the end of the world? Like, am I really going to, you know, forsake our relationship off of dietary preference? No, but it is important, especially if you depend on how important food is to you. Why is my tripod so rocky today? Where do I gotta position this? Oop, actually. Everybody's cutting me off! Now, I'm yelling a lot today. I am yelling a lot. Dude, but I am actually so exhausted right now. Another thing that, you know, obviously I can't record this, but the one thing that ended up happening is I bent down to drop my bag and my tripod on the floor, and I didn't even realize I was holding my water bottle, so I dropped my water bottle, my metal water bottle, onto the floor, which it made a really loud noise. It made everybody look over at me. And on top of that, after I was embarrassed and I dug my water bottle out underneath the treadmill, when I lifted my head up, I hit my head on the treadmill handle, and I actually really wanted to go home at that point, but we did it though. I did another 30 minutes on the treadmill, and I am now officially done with my steps for today. And I am going to go home and turn into a potato. But I'm also really hungry. I'm really tired, which makes me think, like, do I need to take a nap? But I'm also thinking, am I tired because I slept too much, actually? Because yesterday, I went to bed at a somewhat decent time. I woke up really early today. Not like actual wake up, but like I opened my eyes and I realized, you know, still like 2 hours before my alarm's supposed to go off. So I slept in, but then actually woke up at my alarm and I slept an extra 30 minutes. So I'm thinking, did I sleep too much? I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know why I have a headache. I don't know why I feel so physically awful right now, even though I feel pretty mentally good at the moment, where I'm thinking, again, it's so silly to think about that, the idea that I simply hit a PR on bench press that I haven't been able to hit for a really long time. And then here I am just going, that was a successful workout. Why? Because I was able to bench 135 for more than 4 reps. And I am proud about that. Why? Because I've been stuck on that for the longest time ever, and I'm still insecure that people are stronger than me. Because I go to the gym, and I swear to God, I'm the weakest person there, and I don't understand why. But I do understand why. I haven't been consistent. I'm not consistent with my eating. I'm still heartbroken. I still think about my... I should stop right there. Maybe I'll get stronger if I just get over my ex, actually. But here's the thing. Everybody's probably so fucking tired of listening to this at this point, especially whenever I talk about my ex, but it's the idea of this. This is how I get over it. I talk to myself. I think about stuff. I think about breaking no contact because I saw 3 Instagram reels that said about it. But hear me out on this. I was actually open to staying friends afterwards, especially if, you know, there were some clear set boundaries, and in a way that if we both helped each other in a way to kind of not get over it, but at least be friendly enough to kind of admit, hey, maybe we weren't compatible romantically, but we were still best friends for 2 years, right? And it kind of feels like a waste to just toss that away. And I was open to that. But then the more I got my boundaries pushed, the more I realized that they really didn't care anything about on their end at the time. And they were only reaching out when they needed something from me specifically. I got hurt by it. And I got frustrated. And then I realized, what the fuck is the point of this all? And the thing that was most frustrating for me is, again, I've made really good progress, or I had made really good progress at one point of getting over her, because the timeline was literally this. She dumped me again, week before a trip. I went on that trip, and on the first half of that trip, I was actually doing really well getting over it. And as ironic as it sounds, I think seeing her in person and then me seeing my other friends in person really helped me realize, like, you know what? I'm gonna be okay. But then she had to get back together with me on the second half of the trip, and then whoop-de-doo, all the progress fucking flew out the window. And then it's just been this constant on, off, and no communication on her end about what's going on as well, and refuses to acknowledge it, to the point where I'm just stuck in ever-living limbo purgatory, and she gets to do whatever the fuck she wants. But that being said, I should be able to do whatever the fuck I want to, right? And I will admit, it has been a little bit hurtful to the idea that whenever I reached out for anything, there has been complete radio silence, and whenever it's only she needs something, I'm usually there to at least, you know, give her a response to be like, all right, that's actually kind of bullshit what you're offering, but yes, that's bullshit. And then she gets upset and doesn't talk to me again. So it is a bit of an odd dynamic going on. Not the biggest fan of it, if I'm being honest. Might even be opposed to it. I think it's actually going to take me 40 minutes to get back home. And the longer I realize that's actually going to be the truth, I'm getting more and more sad thinking about it. And what do I have to do? Or what do I have to accompany during this shitty journey? It's this fuck-ass protein shake. Why do I do this to myself? And the thing too is, I necessarily didn't really want to reorder that unflavored protein powder, but I forgot that I had it on a subscription thing, and I forgot to cancel, and that's when another one showed up. And then I thought, hey, you know, what's unflavored? What's the worst that can happen? Well, it's actually pretty fucking bad. Oh, come on. I can do this. There's a little bit left down there, but I can't finish that off right now. Honestly, right now, I think I'm going to take some time because I am zoning the fuck out right now, and I think the more I speak to the camera, I'm probably going to make it do worse. So I'm going to jam some music, and I'm going to see you guys in a bit. The headache actually got worse dealing with traffic and this rainy weather right now. And I think I actually might just call it a day after those initial thoughts that I had. I don't think I really have anything more to say, especially to myself, other than my head hurt, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, my head hurt, and I want to go home. Bye.